research that is verifiable, secure, and accurate across all enterprise data. C3.ai. This is Enterprise AI. And by Odoo, focused on providing all-in-one open-source business management software with fully integrated applications for every business need. More at odoo.com.
I'm David Brancaccio in New York. The money runs out this Friday for the federal government. If there's no agreement by then, the government shuts down. This is all affecting the U.S. credit rating. Marketplace's Nancy Marshall-Genzer has this update.
There has been some progress. House Speaker Mike Johnson has unveiled a two-part stopgap funding bill to keep the government going temporarily. The first part expires in January. The second lasts until February. The Senate is working on its own funding measure. The two houses have to pass the same legislation, then send it to the White House for President Biden's signature, all before Friday. All the foot-dragging and drama led the ratings agency Moody's to lower its outlook on the U.S. credit rating to negative from stable. Moody's issued a statement blaming the move on what it called continued political polarization in the U.S. It said that raises the risk that, quote, successive governments will not be able to reach consensus on a fiscal plan to slow the decline in debt affordability. It's gotten much more expensive for the federal government to borrow because interest rates have risen. Moody's did not downgrade the U.S. credit rating. It's still at Moody's highest AAA level, but other credit rating agencies like Fitch have lowered their ratings to AA+. I'm Nancy Marshall-Genzer for Marketplace.
Market screens S&P futures are down 0.2% using Mortgage News Daily's calculation for average 30-year fixed home loans. We're coming out of the weekend at 7.56%, up late last week, but still well below the 8% peak, October the 19th.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Amazon Business. From small business to big enterprise and everything in between, Amazon Business helps simplify the supplies buying process. Amazon Business, your partner for smart business buying. And by How We Survive. Climate change is dire, but it does not have to be world-ending. Tune in to the new season of How We Survive from Marketplace.
Now to a voice from Los Angeles about what it takes to afford to live there. About 1/4 of people working in the leisure and hospitality industries there are Latinx, and of those, Latinas face a gender wage gap that, according to one estimate, means Latina workers miss out on about $1.2 million in pay throughout their careers. And U.S. News has identified Los Angeles as the second most expensive city in which to live in the U.S., just behind San Diego. These gaps are part of what's fueling the current hotel workers' strike in Southern California.
You've been on strike for over 4 hard months. This is not just your fight, it's all of our fight. Luchamos juntos.
My name is Brenda Mendoza. I'm a uniform attendant at the JW Marriott. I've been working at the Marriott for about 14 years now. When I first started working at the hotel, it was my first hotel I've ever worked at. For me, it was, super excited working on a new property that was just finished being built. And, the pay rate back then for me it was great. I got to the point on April of last year, seeing that the rent was almost hitting $3,000 for a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom unit. I said, that's, a payment for a house. So I took that leap of faith and I purchased my home. But my home, I had to purchase it in Apple Valley because that's where I was able to buy it. I wake up at 3 a.m. We have to be out of the house by 3:30 to be able to make it to my first boy's job that he starts at 5:30 in the morning. My shift starts at 7 in the morning, so I have to leave my husband at 6:30 at his job. So he waits quite a while because he starts at 8 a.m. in the morning. So he's the one that waits outside until his shift starts. And I keep the car. It's been difficult, having to sacrifice, not sleeping much like I was before. I get tired of driving basically 100 miles coming down and going back up. But, we make those sacrifices for our family to have something, for the future. when we go into work, we put everything. We give our energy, we give the better of ourselves, you know. We don't want to be overworked and underpaid. We want to be treated as equal. And I come from, like, my grandma, my mother, they were housekeepers. So I see the work that they put in, how physically, you know, the job is, and how they're left after working so many years. Physically, they're just, you know, they're just tired. They're hurt from everywhere. My grandma passed away August. She had so many health issues, you know, that probably if she would have taken care of herself back then, but she needed to work. She gave everything to doing the housekeeping position. Since she's worked her whole life doing that in hotels. So, you know, that's one of the reasons why I push and I help, you know, the union and coworkers to, you know, help us so we know that we can have something better for the future. And it's not going to be easy. You know, it's going to be a challenge, but we have to fight for what we believe in and what we deserve, because we put in so much of our lives into these jobs. Physically, it's, you know, tiring. It's just a lot. And sometimes we make sacrifices like I do, along with my family.
A view from striking hotel worker Brenda Mendoza, who lives in Apple Valley, California, a bit like moving near Philadelphia to work in New York City. Marketplace's Erica Soderstrom produced that. 3 big Los Angeles hotels have reached deals with workers in the ongoing strike. Loews Hollywood, the Westin Bonaventure, and the Biltmore in Los Angeles. Probably should say Lowe's Hollywood. United Auto Worker members continue to vote on tentative contracts with Ford, GM, and Jeep Ram's owner Stellantis. These are not slam dunks. On Friday, workers at a GM assembly plant in Flint, Michigan, narrowly said no to the contract. In New York, I'm David Brancaccio. You're listening to the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.